How old is Isaac at the beginning of the Parsha? He's 40 years old. And this is one of those times I think that it's important for us to point out that when you read the verses of the Torah, within a sentence, decades can pass. And when he's 40 years old, Rabbi, it talks about he and Rivka praying for children. How old was Isaac when they finally got children? How old was he? He was in his 60s. If you look, this is why I love the other sources that the people of Israel have handed down to us, like Seder Olam. Seder Olam basically gives you context. It gives you historical context. It shows you that Isaac and Rivka actually had to think about, are we praying enough? Because God did not immediately answer their prayers for children. It was almost 20 years later when they had children. I was looking at something very interesting about the figures. I made some notes here that Isaac was 40 years old. This is only 3 years after the Yakidah. Okay, and Avraham is still alive. The last Torah Parsha, it sounded like everybody had died and gone away. No, it's because these are almost like parenthetical digressions, talking about another like part of the family.
Somehow overlap. It's like kind of like an exception to the narrative. It's kind of like weaves in and out.
Yeah. Here we taught you about Avraham. Now we're going to tell you all about Isaac and Rivka. Isaac was 40 years old. This is 3 years after the Yakidah. Avraham is still alive. Ishmael is still alive. Shem is still alive. The son of Noah, he's still alive. And this is necessary because the death of Avraham plays very much into this narrative. But it also plays into the narrative that when the children are born, and Rivka is having such problems with carrying the children, they're wrestling in the womb, and she's so troubled by the pains that she has to go inquire. And the oral tradition tells us she went to Moriah, and Rashi and others say that the Torah text says she wanted to inquire of God. So how did people inquire of God? Generally through a prophet. And of course, who was the prophet in those days?
Shem.
It was Shem. Melchizedek.